What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. I think this is a pretty, I don't know. I think it's a pretty good gun review considering I've had this gun for a good while. So on top of a okay amount of rounds, I will say I will be honest with you guys right now. If you guys are expecting me to remember how many rounds I put through this AR like I did for the dagger, for example, I will not be able to give you an accurate answer. I can say roughly, 350 to 500-ish. You know what I mean? That's what I could roughly say. But I've owned this for over a year now. I've brought this gun out plenty of times, but I haven't done a review on it yet. So, with that being said, my Palmetto State Armory AR-15. All right, so this is a classic PA-15 stealth lower, so adjustable stock. Of course, your standard safety. I'd say hammer's not back. There we are. Standard safety over on the left side. All right, 16-inch barrel. This is mlok rail. This is from their Freedom line. All right. So I know that's actually a very controversial line too. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it in a second. First, I do want to say thank you for everybody who's been sticking with me. I know my uploading schedule has been a bit erratic. However, I can say now I'm married. So off the market for good. You feel me? So with that being said, my schedule should be getting a little bit more comparable to how it used to be. A little, obviously a bit more stable, I guess you would say. Now, with that being said, I know I've said that like 3 times already since this video started. Let's get into it. About to say, and I just cleaned this gun. That's how I knew it was clear. So, but let's get into it. So, standard PSA trigger, nothing super special on it. Nothing special. With that being the case, this has been a very reliable AR-15. All right, I can say without a doubt, I'm about to say 16-inch barrel barely fits with how I'm holding it up there. There we are. So, very reliable mlok, so I can go ahead and get a vertical grip on it. We got a nice rail here, so that way I can sit here, add a red dot on it, a scope if I'd like to. I got your standard flip-up M-bus sights. Nothing special. I chose these in gray. Actually, I didn't really even choose them in gray, so I was going to order them online. I was going to order some all black ones, you know what I mean? Just make it look standard, all blacked out. But then I was like, you know what? I already got my upper. I got my lower. I got my bolt carrier grip, my charging handle. I literally have everything to make this gun work, except I can't aim because I don't have sights. I joke about way too many people on the internet who do that for me to do that. That was the only thought that went through my head. So that day I was like, you know what, fuck it. There are gray ones that are in store. I'm going to go ahead and get those. And that's, what I've been working with since then. I have these sighted in at 25 yards. However, if you guys check out my shorts, there we are. Sorry about that. I know it was a weird angle for me to have to do it there. But if you guys checked out my shorts, you guys can see I have hit steel at 100 yards with this. No problem. Have not had to adjust my sights once since I've zeroed them. Now, normally I'm running 223 through this for training purposes. However, my defense ammo that I'm running through this, you guys have seen before, you already know. Got a mixture of green tip and standard FMJ in there. Is there any reason why I do that? No, not really. Will all FMJ work for me? 100%. But a lot of people, and this is another reason why I wanted to do this video, a lot of people like to shit on AR-15s from Palmetto State Armory. It's, the cheaper end of AR-15s. It is a cheaper end store usually. So I'm going to get into it. As I said, I put a decent amount of rounds through it. There's been 0 malfunctions of any kind, actually. 0. So, or, actually, I will say there have been some, but they weren't due to the gun itself. It was due to me. It would be simple shit like, I would think it's a malfunction, but really it's not. You know what I mean? In the moment, you would think it's a malfunction, right? pull the trigger, click, no bang. Magazine wasn't seated fully. Something stupid like that. You know what I mean? So no actual malfunctions due to the gun itself, more so user error, not even malfunctions, because when the mag is fully seated, the gun works. So if the mag's not fully seated, the gun's not going to work with it. You know what I mean? Whatever. My whole point, though, is that while I will say it gets very, very warm after you run a couple of mags through it in rapid succession, we're talking like 3 or 4 mags. It has not failed me once. I use this as my home defense AR-15 right here. In total for price, and I have a Radiant Raptor charging handle on here. I don't think I said that, but a little better of a charging handle. In total, including for the charging handle, I think maybe $600-700. Not very expensive, especially considering I've seen some AR-15s go for $5,000 and up. But it has been very, very, very reliable. I know I'm sitting here, not going into a lot of detail. I'm not an AR guy, really. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and disassemble this here so you guys can see some of the insides. Hey, stupid! That was me. That dog. All right, so you can see here, and this is one thing I will say: a lot of people in the gun community, they love to sit here and make a big deal about brands. As I mentioned before, PSA is not very highly looked upon as a brand. However, when it comes to something like an AR lower, generally speaking, a majority of them are built the same. There are some differences, of course. However, a majority of them are built the same. So, go ahead and take a quick look. Y'all can see there's nothing super special here. Nothing super special. Of course, got the hammer here, pull the trigger. Oh, no, it's safe, sorry. There we are. See what I mean? There's nothing super special about the lower at all. I will say this is a multi-caliber lower. So, for example, let's say I had an upper that was only capable for 223, right? Only chambered in that. I can use this lower, of course, like this one here that is chambered in only 5.56. If you guys don't know, if it's chambered in 5.56, you can shoot 223. If it's chambered in 223, you cannot shoot 5.56 out of it. But I can run my 5.56 upper on here, of course, as you guys know. A 300 blackout upper I could put on here. So it's kind of cool in that aspect, but that's just how AR-15s are. You know what I mean? They are very versatile and customizable. So now, with that being said, I'm going to go into some self-defense situations, of course. Since it's a 16-inch AR-15 here, we're not exactly talking about, 16-inch barreled AR-15. Sorry about that, y'all. It's about 4 a.m. here. But we're not exactly working too well with concealed carry. So just keep that in mind when I go through only 3 of the 4 self-defense situations. Go ahead and, while I started, I'll go ahead and get this back together. So we're going to start with home defense, right? Home defense, I give this, a 8 out of 10. I mean, I use it for home defense. See what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and use something I think is bad for home defense as a home defense weapon. I would have spent my money on something else. But on top of your standard 30-round mags that you get that work beautifully, there are a variety of other magazines that you can get, variety of different capacities of magazines you can get. You can get drum mags, you can get quad stack mags. There's a lot that you can get here. So capacity isn't really the problem. If you're in California and you are, or states like California, where you are limited to a 10-round magazine or anything along those lines, I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry. But I'm in Florida, so I don't have to deal with that. All right, so capacity isn't really an issue here. All right, it's an AR-15. The standard capacity is 30 rounds here. As I said before, unless you're in a communist state, you should be fine. 16-inch barrel, 5.56. That's decent velocity. It's definitely going to do the job. That's your pretty standard AR-15 barrel length now. I know it was originally, or at least the 5.56, I'm pretty sure was originally created for a 20-inch barrel, which it definitely has some good velocity out of. But 16-inch barrel makes it easier to move around. It's lighter. It will still definitely do the job. It doesn't cut anywhere near as much velocity as you would think with 4 inches being taken off of it. In the gun world, believe it or not, 4 inches is a lot. Just saying. Uh, but as I was saying before, home defense, it does a solid job. A majority of time. Jesus, I can English today. A majority of times, there we go. A majority of times there are break-ins nowadays. It is not one home intruder or home invader or burglar, however you want to phrase it. All right. It is not just one home intruder. They're usually not unarmed either. It will usually be multiple armed home invaders that are coming in. They are coming in to steal what they can, or they are coming in to hurt you and your family. It might be a mixture of both. All right. That's just the truth of the matter here. There's no other reason why someone's going to break into your home other than to steal your shit or hurt your family, or both. You see what I mean? With that being the case, this will definitely do the job. I can guarantee it. What I will say, though, that a lot of people do not think about, and I have considered this myself, and I said, you know what? I'll take that risk. 5.56 is an extremely concussive round, especially for being indoors. All right. Your hearing is definitely going to be fucked up for a little bit, if not permanently, if you have to continuously keep shooting inside. All right. However, that is the beauty of a rifle round, is that the power that comes with it tends to be a good man stopper. All right. Not as good as 12 gauge, of course, or anything along those lines, but a good man stopper, no doubt about it. So home defense, as I said, it gets a 8 out of 10. It does a great job. Capacity-wise isn't an issue. 5.56 is a great round, so it has no problem stopping. 16-inch barrel, maneuverable enough that you can get around corners, things like that if you need to, as long as you train. I always advocate for training, all right, especially for something like this where it requires you to have to move around tight corners sometimes, and you have a 16-inch barrel here. You know, it can be difficult. So definitely train. But as I was saying before, 16-inch barrel makes it somewhat easier to maneuver around compared to like a 20-inch barrel like the 5.56 was created for, if I'm not mistaken. You should definitely have no problem, with anything along these lines for home defense. And as a matter of fact, with the price point it is too, it's not like if the police do end up taking it that, you have to sit there. Look, let's be honest, guys. I don't know about you guys. I know how police are when it comes to, holding evidence. They are pains in the ass, yo. They are horrible people. They'll take your shit saying, oh, yeah, well, we need to see if you're going to get charged or not before you get this back. It's evidence. They won't charge you, and then they'll just hold your shit forever. So, and I'm telling you all this, I've seen it from, on my end. I've seen it on other people's ends. I've seen it a bunch of different ways. All right. Now, as I was saying, if it does get taken into evidence, it's not like at this price point you wouldn't be able to replace it. I know it would be kind of a pain in the ass. It's like having to lose a Glock for, concealed carry as far as money-wise. But, an AR-15, it's a much more capable firearm than, like a Glock, for example. So I would feel much more, inclined to spend that amount of money for something like this. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be as much of a pain in the ass to me as, per se, I used a Glock for concealed carry. It'd be the same amount to me, but, one of them would just hurt my feelings a bit more. That's all I'm saying. That's the honest point here, being honest. Now, of course, we cannot do concealed carry in this case because you really going to conceal carry this? Be honest here. You think you're going to conceal carry 16-inch barrel? Look, even if we got the stock all the way in, there's no way anybody's concealed carrying this. All right, so we're moving on to shit hits the fan. This gun shines pretty well in a shit hits the fan situation. Here's why I say that. So in shit hits the fan, it's an AR-15, all right? The most popular rifle in our country. Not only the most popular rifle in our country, the most versatile rifle in our country. Here's what I like about AR-15s compared to AKs. Sorry about that. Got a little cough going on here. Let's say you're in battle, right? And you and your enemy both have ARs, right? Both have AR-15s. Completely different styled AR-15s, right? You're able to take the enemy out, but in the process, part of your rifle breaks. Let's say the bolt carrier group breaks somehow, whatever it is. You know damn well if you can get over to that other person, right, that you will be able to find that part. You'll be able to get that part. That's the simple matter of fact here. Even if the firearm was chambered in a different caliber, chances are you can probably find the part if we're talking like some form of, outer hardware here, like a grip or something or whatever, right? Maybe not a bolt carrier group, but you see what I mean, right? You'll definitely be able to interchange parts and still have your gun that'll, function and be back in the battle. AKs are not exactly like that. Now, I will say some I'm sure are compatible with others, all right? As I said, guys, look, I'll be honest with y'all. Let's make this clear before I even go on, because some people, they like to type in the comments, act like they're little keyboard warriors of the gun world here. I have never claimed to know everything about guns. Never have I ever claimed to know everything about guns. What I have claimed is I've claimed to know a decent bit, especially for, being 22, but as I was saying, AKs generally are not like that, all right? So that is one thing I will say I like about ARs over AKs. So in a situation like that, it's generally going to be, pretty useful to have that capability of being able to take parts off an enemy. All right. Now, another concept here is the calibers. All right. Let's say the enemy has 223, but you're shooting 5.56, you're out of ammo. You were able to take the enemy down, but you're out of ammo. You're going to be able to shoot that 223. You're going to be able to. You're not going to be out of the fight fully. It's a pretty good, it's a pretty good weapon here for shit hits the fan, because when shit hits the fan, you're really not worried about anything else other than keeping yourself and your people alive. That's the pure definition of shit hits the fan. A mass state of lawlessness. Everybody is fending for themselves and their own. That is it. Now, so I give this one, honestly, I don't remember what number I said before, if I even said one, but I'm going to give it a new number if I didn't give it one before. 9. 9 out of 10. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on to number 3. Well, technically it would be number 4, but concealed carry is not an option here. So, self-defense situation number 3, animal defense. This'll do a pretty damn good job against a majority of animals. Not all. Small, medium, and some large animals as well. It for sure will, especially with the capacity that you can work with. Yeah, it should be able to do the job without an issue. Now, as I said, there are some animals where it's a much different situation. I will say, do I think 5.56 could stop a grizzly bear? Enough rounds probably could. Enough. Y'all got to realize, I've seen a 7.62 by 39 drop a grizzly bear with 3 rounds. Now, I will say this grizzly bear had also been fighting 2 hunting dogs, but the hunting dogs were huskies. So this isn't to shit on huskies or husky owners or anything like that. Actually, my older brother owned a husky for the longest time, one of the sweetest dogs ever, until you got her mad. But damn, I had a joke I was going to make, but no one else would have gotten it other than people in my family. That would have sucked. But anyways, all right. I've seen 3 rounds of 7.62 by 39 drop a bear. One of them had to be to the dome. I will say that. And that was what seemed to be the one that turned the power button off. However, do I think 5.56 could do it? Yes. With enough rounds, sure. There are animals, of course, that round is definitely not going to be able to stop. If we're talking really, really large animals, we're talking like elephants or something along those lines, no. I'm sorry, but they have specific rounds that are We're talking $100 plus per round, designed specifically for that. So if that's where you think I'm going with this, not at all. All right. I think that about wraps it up as far as the self-defense situations go. I haven't given it a number for animal defense. I'll give it a, considering the types of animals you're more likely than not to run into and need to defend yourself from, which is either going to be some level of smaller to medium-sized animal. By medium-sized, I mean coyote, wolf, large aggressive dog, things like that. You can even consider some form of deer as far as large. Granted, I will say 5.56 doesn't do the best for hunting deer. It's illegal in some states actually to hunt deer with 5.56 and 2.23, considering it's not powerful enough sometimes to put them out. So it just causes unnecessary suffering of the animal. I feel like I'm getting off track here. However, I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10 for animal defense. I think that's what I'm going to specifically, designate it as animal defense. So 7.5, 9, 8, 24.5 out of 30. We're looking at like almost 75% here, a decently passing grade here. It's a very cheap gun, all right, especially for, what you get out of it. You get good reliability. I haven't put anywhere near as many rounds as some people may have put through their ARs. As I said, maybe 400, 500-ish. But the rounds that I have put through have been varying types of ammo, varying brands. AAC is one of them. Granted, that's a subsidiary of PSA, so I would hope that ammo of all ammo would run through it, But with that being said, that wraps it up for this video. I don't want to sit here and keep going in circles. Sound like I'm just wasting time here. Y'all make sure to go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I almost forgot. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you agree with me, right? For 600, actually, I'll say maybe including taxes, shipping, everything else, 650 at most. 650. Pretty damn good rifle. One thing I didn't mention, very lightweight. You see what I mean? Granted, I'm a 22-year-old man. It's not a big deal to be able to lift 6 pounds over your head. But it is very lightweight. You can see the handguard here. There's not exactly, any room for anything else other than cuts. So it's a very lightweight rifle. But if you agree with me, for the price it is an amazing AR-15. I think PSA did a great job on it. Y'all go ahead and make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.